count us in.
Indulge me one more time. Bugman's Brewers. When I first saw Bugman's card at the Games Workshop, I remember thinking it was a good piece, solid, full of character, but it felt incomplete. The cart needed the Brewers. Of course, they've been out of print for years, so I went looking. I found a set, had a good conversation with the seller, and we landed somewhere fair. That felt right. These weren't trophies. These were meant to be finished. When they arrived, they were tired, heavy with old paint and older intentions from a modeler years ago. So I stripped them back to nothing by spray painting them with black primer, and then a clean reset by dry brushing them with gray cere. And I started again. This time, my way. If some of this feels familiar, that's intentional. I mean, we've already given the beards their due back in the beards chapter, and armor and cloth follow pretty much the same language used on the other leaders here in Barak-Karandul. And I really kind of felt that once that language was set, the rest followed the same hand. What mattered wasn't repeating every single little step. It was identity. These dwarves were never meant to look like parade figures. They're workers, brewers, veterans. Early on, when we were shaping Barak-Karandul, we started thinking about rank, not just in titles, but in how it shows. Some blues belong to leaders and runesmiths, others belong to hands that work. These brewers wear a craftsman's blue. Even the boots were muted, less ceremony, more reality. The armor and weapons needed to speak the same language too. And dwarves don't forge for individuality. They forge for continuity. So every blade, every plate follows the same hand. Shared colors, shared shades, shared highlights. Not because they're the same, but because they belong to the same tradition of forging. Meanwhile, the same work continues, just on different hands. The process may stay the same. I may use the same colors, the same wear, the same hand. What changes is where the attention rests. This time it's my standard bearer, where the craft carries forward. The quiver with some green to show their ranger origins, arrows. So once this work is understood, it just doesn't need to be repeated, it just needs to be carried. And then there's the man himself, or I should say the dwarf himself, Bugman of Bugman's Brewers. Now again, I didn't feel like I needed to show every step here, but he did need presence. And I feel like there are certain things that stand out about this miniature. Obviously, the beard is one of them. And his standard is the second thing that stands out about him. And I did match the two standards together with the same basic browns, and then of course the metal pieces. The top with kind of the standard Bugman's mug up there, and then I tried to go for more of an ivory look to give this a certain weighted ideology. I wanted to strip away any sense of newness, These weren't meant to gleam or shine. These standards needed to feel heavier than the metal beneath them, less ornament and more tradition. The shield followed the same idea, ivory tone and not pristine, yet the mug and circlet had to be picked out carefully with just a little bit of polish to display a reverence to the tradition of the Brewers. And the third trait, the mug, the thing that matters most, topped with fresh froth, just catching the light, enough to feel alive. They didn't just arrive, they stayed. What was missing for me has found its place.